Imagine pulling into your driveway after a long day, only to find cops swarming your gate because some pearl-clutching busybody decided your freedom was her business. That's how it exploded for Alex Rivera. A man who'd spent years dodging drama, only to watch it erupt like a volcano of absurdity right on his doorstep. Alex Rivera had always been the quiet type. The guy who fixed his own roof and minded his own damn business. After a decade grinding as a software engineer in the chaos of Silicon Valley, he cashed out and bought a modest ranch-style home on the outskirts of Maple Grove, a cookie-cutter suburb in suburban Ohio where the American dream supposedly came with a white picket fence and zero headaches. No more traffic jams. No more micromanaging bosses, just him, his rescue dog buddy, and a backyard big enough for a vegetable garden that actually grew something edible. His wife had passed a few years back, leaving him with a knack for observation honed from late-night coding sessions where one misplaced semicolon could crash the whole system. He checked the deeds twice before signing, no HOA covenants, no mandatory dues. Just pure, unadulterated ownership. "This is my reset," he'd muttered to Buddy as they watched sunsets from the porch. The air thick with the scent of fresh-cut grass and zero obligations. The neighborhood seemed idyllic at first, kids on bikes, block parties with lukewarm hot dogs, the occasional wave from folks walking their labs. But whispers started filtering in about the Maple Grove Homeowners Association, led by none other than Barb Kensington, a retired accountant who'd clawed her way to HOA president like it was her personal throne. Barb was the epitome of suburban royalty, mid-50s. Always in pastel cardigans, spouting community standards like gospel while her eyes scanned for infractions. She ruled with a velvet glove over an iron fist, fining folks for weeds taller than 2 inches or cars parked facing the wrong direction. "Order keeps us civilized," she'd say at meetings, her voice dripping with faux sweetness. But everyone knew she thrived on the power trip, terrified of any challenge that might dethrone her. It began innocently enough. Or so it seemed. One crisp autumn morning, Alex found a glossy pamphlet in his mailbox. "Welcome to Maple Grove HOA. Your new family awaits." He chuckled, tossing it in the recycling. Wrong address, folks. But the next day, a knock echoed through his quiet house. There stood Barb, clipboard in hand, her smile as tight as her perm. "Mr. Rivera? I'm Barb Kensington, HOA president. We've expanded our boundaries to include your lovely home. Here's your starter kit. Dues are $150 monthly. And oh, we'll need to discuss that tomato trellis, it's not on the approved list." Alex blinked, leaning against the doorframe. "Expanded? My property's outside your zone. I double-checked the county records." Barb's eyes narrowed just a fraction, but her voice stayed honeyed. "Boundaries evolve, dear. Communities grow. You'll see, it's for the greater good." She thrust the envelope at him and sauntered off, her heels clicking like tiny judgments on the pavement. Alex didn't bite back. He just filed the packet away, snapped a photo, and logged it in a digital folder labeled Neighborhood Nonsense. Rumors started swirling almost immediately, whispers at the local diner that he was antisocial, dodging responsibilities, even hiding something shady. Mrs. Patel from next door avoided eye contact when he waved. "Heard you're not paying your fair share," she muttered one day while watering her roses. Alex smiled politely. "Fair share of what?" "Exactly?" But inside, he was cataloging every glance, every sidelong comment, building a mental map of how Barb twisted narratives like code in a buggy algorithm. The violations piled up like bad karma. First, a neon yellow notice taped to his fence, non-compliant lawn height. Trim within 48 hours or face $50 fine. His grass was a perfectly average 3 inches. Barb's volunteers had apparently measured it with a ruler at dawn. Alex photographed it. Emailed the county assessor for confirmation his lot was exempt. And mowed anyway. Just to keep the peace. But Barb wasn't done. You know, Mr. Rivera, she cooed over the fence one afternoon. Catching him mid-garden weeding. Refusing to join sets a poor example. What if everyone thought they could just opt out? Her tone was all concern. But her eyes gleamed with that mechanical glee of someone enforcing order to mask their control freakery. Opt out of what I was never in. Alex replied calmly. Wiping dirt from his hands. Sounds like freedom to me. She huffed. Scribbling on her clipboard. Freedom? That's just code for chaos. Soon, the absurdity ramped up. Anonymous flyers appeared in neighbors' mailboxes. Beware the freerider on Elm Street, he's draining our resources. Alex found one crumpled in his driveway. Complete with a cartoon of a shadowy figure siphoning cash from a community pool that didn't exist. Laughter bubbled up in him. Dark and bitter, how could you drain something you weren't connected to? But the isolation stung, invites to barbecues dried up. And kids steered clear of Buddy like he was rabid. Barb manipulated the grapevine masterfully. Her polite facade cracking only in private rants overheard at HOA meetings. He's undermining our values. We must protect the aesthetic. Alex endured it silently. But he wasn't idle. He dove into online forums. Printing HOA horror stories. Cross-referencing laws. Patience, he told Buddy, is the ultimate debug tool. Tensions simmered into winter. The neighborhood blanketed in snow that Barb decreed must be shoveled by 9 a.m. sharp. Alex's driveway got a pass, until it didn't. One icy morning, he woke to find orange cones blocking his gate. A sign reading HOA maintenance zone, unauthorized access prohibited. Barb's golf cart idled nearby. Her breath fogging as she directed 2 burly volunteers to secure the perimeter. What the hell is this? Alex asked. Stepping out in his robe. Phone recording discreetly. Barb turned. Her face a mask of triumphant piety. Your unpaid dues mean we're reclaiming communal space. This driveway edges our expanded territory, think of it as a gentle reminder. Alex's voice stayed even. Reclaiming? With cones from Home Depot? That's not how property works. Barb. She waved her clipboard like a scepter. Rules are rules. Mr. Rivera. Pay up. And the cones go away. The volunteers shifted uncomfortably. One muttering. This feels off. Barb. But she shot him a glare that could freeze the snow. Alex snapped photos. Emailed them to a lawyer friend. And moved the cones himself. The plastic clattering like her crumbling logic. The dark humor hit when the rumors escalated to outright slander. At the grocery store. Old Mr. Harlan leaned in, heard you're running some illegal operation out there, no wonder you won't join. Alex overheard Barb at a coffee shop. Her voice laced with faux worry, it's sad. Really? People like him tear at the fabric of society. He laughed inwardly at the irony, a woman fining folks for unapproved bird feeders preaching about fabric. But the laugh and anger moments piled on, a fake lien notice glued to his mailbox. Claiming $500 in aesthetic damages for his blue front door, only earth tones allowed. Alex peeled it off. Scanned it. And added it to his growing dossier. Whispering to himself. Keep digging your hole. Barb. By spring. Barb's fear of losing her grip turned her lopsided. She started patrolling his street daily. Binoculars in hand. Noting suspicious activity like him planting unauthorized zinnias. Those flowers clash with the neighborhood palette, she snapped one day, leaning over his fence uninvited. Alex met her gaze coolly. Clash? They're red. Barb. Like the flag you wave at meetings. Her cheeks flushed. But she pressed on, this isn't personal, it's about standards. The hypocrisy dripped. Neighbors whispered she'd repainted her own garage twice without approval. But no fines for the queen. Alex's counter was subtle. He posted public county maps on a neighborhood Facebook group. Anonymously at first, highlighting his exemption. Comments flooded in, wait. Can she really annex like that? Barb's replies were frantic, misinformation. Report and block. The escalation peaked when Barb, desperate to maintain her throne amid growing murmurs of dissent, upped the ante. Late one evening, Alex's motion lights flicked on. Through the camera feed, he watched Barb sneak up, staple gun in hand, affixing a massive banner to his fence, non-compliant resident, community alert. Her face in the glow was a caricature of righteous fury. Lips pursed in self-assured smugness. Alex didn't confront her, he just saved the footage, added timestamps, and forwarded it to the sheriff's office with a harassment complaint. But Barb beat him to the punch. The next morning, 2 deputies pulled up. Sirens silent but lights flashing. Sir, we've got a report of vandalism and threats against HOA property, one said, eyeing the banner shreds Alex had removed. Barb stood across the street, arms crossed, her expression a mix of confidence and barely veiled panic as neighbors gathered. Threats? From who? Alex asked, calm as ever, pulling out his phone. The deputy glanced at Barb. Ma'am here says you tore down official signage and yelled obscenities. Alex played the footage, Barb trespassing, her staple gun popping like punctuation to her absurdity. The deputies' faces hardened. This is your official work? One asked Barb. She stammered. He's disrupting order. I have rights as president. The irony hung thick, her mechanical defense crumbling under scrutiny. Ma'am, this looks like harassment, the other deputy said, cuffing her as she sputtered. You can't. I'm upholding standards. Neighbors gasped, some chuckling darkly at the reversal. Alex watched silently, the satisfaction bubbling like code compiling perfectly after endless errors. But Alex wasn't done. His patient observation had uncovered more, digging through public records. He found discrepancies in HOA finances, dues funneled to Barb's consulting firm, annexations without votes, even forged signatures on expansions. He compiled it all into a whistleblower packet, anonymously tipping off the state attorney general. The investigation hit like a thunderclap. At the hearing, Barb sat primly, her lawyer whispering furiously as evidence mounted, emails showing her manipulating budgets to fund personal perks, like a new SUV branded with HOA logos. This is slander, she yelped, face contorting in shocked outrage. Veins throbbing as witnesses, former board members she'd bullied, testified against her. She threatened my re-election if I questioned the books, one said. Barb's defenses were laughably hypocritical. It's for the community. You don't understand the burdens of leadership. The judge's gavel fell, fraud charges. Restitution ordered. HOA dissolved. Barb's empire, built on absurd rules and fake morality, evaporated in a puff of satirical justice. She stormed out, pearls clacking, muttering about ungrateful peasants, her confident facade shattered into panicked fragments. In the aftermath, Maple Grove breathed easier. No more nitpicky fines, neighbors organized voluntary cleanups, laughing over barbecues without fear of clipboard tyrants. Alex's garden flourished. zinnias blooming defiantly red. He hung a simple sign on his gate, private haven. Shared respect. Rumors flipped, now he was the quiet hero who'd exposed the rot. One evening, as Buddy chased fireflies under porch lights, Alex sipped coffee, reflecting on the absurdity. Barb's house sold quickly, she vanished to some gated condo far away. Her standards packed in boxes. The neighborhood wasn't perfect, but it was free, real community. Not enforced order. So, was Alex the villain for standing his ground? Or was Barb the true disruptor hiding behind rules? You tell me, was justice served? Or did the system just catch up to one Karen's overreach?